This is a math curriculum review for Apologia Level 3. We came over from Matthew C. And I had one of my kids was just in tears. Matthew C was not fitting the bill. So I just decided to switch it up. We absolutely loved Apologia. There were no more frustration, tears. All of my kids really enjoyed Apologia. It's explained really well. The lessons are short, but there's enough packed into the lesson. It doesn't ever feel like it's too much, ever. But you feel like a lot got done. So it's pretty amazing in my opinion. And I'm not a crafty person. I'm not one that likes to I put a lot more into like history and stuff, so I don't want to have to prep a lot for math. And there were more games. There were more of those things, but I didn't have to do any of the prepping. It was already in our materials. Anything that was needed was just stuff around the house, and it wasn't that big a deal. And there were still days that maybe I didn't use all the materials that were needed to play like some kind of game or something, but it all worked out and it wasn't that big a deal. So this is the teacher guide and answer key for level 3. Here's your table of contents. It rolled over well to my 3rd grader. Equally, I just did whatever we were doing in Matthew C. I just did the next level in Apologia. And it didn't feel like we had to backtrack any. I will say I had an older one who we did actually backtrack just a little to build that confidence and go, hey, you do love math. We just kind of got stuck. So this is your daily schedule. They have it set up in 4 days a week. So you have no math on Fridays, if you choose that. We ended up doing math on most Fridays and finishing early, but I love that we have the option to leave Fridays off and get it done in 30 weeks. Each day, each lesson starts with, you have skills practice. So this is just adding 2-digit numbers for this week to here. Then you have subtracting 2-digit numbers, and skills practice is it's 5 to 10 minutes. It might be a worksheet or it might be a fun game. It's something easy to just go over a review. It might be telling time. We just had a clock and practice with that. This is skills practice for unit 3 is just multiplication facts. So it's just going over your 2s, 5s, 10s, 3s, and 4 multiplication fact. We just use flashcards for that. Back here you have sheets that you might need for games. They had like a battleship game, which my kids loved. So these aren't perforated, which I wish they were, but you just rip them out. Whatever you need for the lesson, simple as that. Here is the student workbook. I love that it's spiral. Here's an example. They're just estimating sums, doing some rounding. These 2 sheets that it asks for were in the back of my teacher's book. So I just pulled those out. There was some cutting involved, which my kids loved, cutting out some numbers to paste onto these jars, which we didn't paste. We just laid them on there. Then it has the teaching portion, more of the teaching portion, and then the practice. So these 2 pages were practice, and that was the lesson. So then you have the next day. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Next day. And that's the activity for that one. Then you have the lesson over here and then practice. That's the end of that lesson. You've got Uno cards that they call for, dice, those kinds of things. There may have been some other things, like I said, we just didn't use. Here's an 8's maze that was in the back, where they're just counting 8 facts. Practice with your 8s here, going over it, couple of problems, and on to the next lesson. So that's Apologia Math Level 3.